Pallas expresses in a chart how we can use the power of intellect as strategical tool, but also remember that it has a healing power. Sorry. And also, Athena Pallas does not mean necessarily in a chart that this is the point where we take the correct decisions. It can show this is the point where we have to pay attention and be more wise, use the energy wiser, and be more concentrated and timid in order to have the positive effects of that energy. So Pallas in Aries, or in the first house, or in aspect to Mars, of course, it gives leadership abilities, innovation, and strongly motivated to find against all odds, only to be proven right or wrong. As we said, we don't know. And there is an abundance of energy, and of course, Aries always has this need to do its own, that mine is correct, I want to do it right now. So Pallas in Aries can use the leadership abilities, but has to be careful about the impulsive tendencies that gives. Pallas in Taurus, this is how, Pallas in Aries is what Winston Churchill said, so that has, also Gandhi had it, first degree of Aries. Pallas in Taurus, second house, or in aspect to Venus. It is connected to the senses and the physical world. It gives arts and beauty, nature, of course, and environmental awareness. So you can see that someone with Pallas in Taurus to be strongly fighting about the environment. Land and possessions. We saw earlier that Churchill was fighting for the land when his progress Pallas was in Taurus. Also, it's more logical and grounded and always needs proofs. Pallas in Gemini, third house, or in aspect to Mercury. This is the power of knowledge, communication, and writing. This is the ability to bring down ideas into the form of words. So fight through words. So one might have the ability to, even if he's a writer or newspaper or someone who can speak loudly and fight for ideas that he has. Pallas in Cancer, for house or in aspect to Moon. This goes with empathy or understanding the feelings and emotional needs of the others. So someone protects home, the family, the country. It can give patriotism or nationalism, because there's always a negative side to that when we go to extremes. In Leo, which is a very good placement, fifth house or in aspect to the Sun, this is when be on the front line and lead again. It can use the abilities and the intellect through arts and drama. If you are someone who can paint, or someone who can be like an actor who go in front and fight. It's creativity and expression, originality of ideas, connected to the heart. And I am saying always about Leo, know thyself. There is a mistake here. Know thyself. This is from the Delphi, when it says that you have to be able to recognize your heart and understand yourself in order to be a personality not egocentric. Pallas in Virgo, sixth house or in aspect to Mercury. Of course, it is detailed and strategically oriented. It is able to serve and heal, go through therapy, has to do with purification and separating what's useful and what's not useful. Pallas in Libra, another very nice position, seventh house or in aspect to Venus. This is the peacemaker. This is the diplomacy. And actually, as we speak, Pallas is in Venus. So bring balance, justice, and of course, it's the best counselor. and it has to do a lot with allies and relationships. Pallas in Scorpio, 8th house, or in aspect to Pluto. So there is a power of penetration, going deeper to the core of the darkest corners of one's psychology and unconscious. So that can bring healing, but it can also be a tool for using it. So using the others for your own benefit. This is the point where we are facing or creating fears, generating abilities, but also the money, of course, but also has to do with manipulation and control, as I told you earlier. So, Pallas in Sagittarius, we are in the sign, the house, and the aspect with the father. So here is about fighting for higher ideas. This is the perception and understanding. It's very important how you see something, how you understand it. It has to do with freedom and religion, dogmatism, and narrow-minded. I always say about Sagittarius, it's not always the horse that rides freely in the fields, being proud. It can be the horse wearing, I don't know how they call this, but it has a very narrowed spectrum of where it's going. So it goes to one direction. So Pallas in Sagittarius could be easily someone who is so religiously oriented that can create a lot of damage. Instead of looking at it from another perspective, it can damage a lot. Pallas in Capricorn, 10th house, or in aspect to Saturn. This is the position when one's fighting to create or maintain social structures and tradition. We saw that this is Christine Lagarde who has it. Has to do with authority, has to do with law. This is to keep control and need for recognition and career. But above all, Capricorn has to do with maturity. Be strategically leading socially, social leader, let's say, and being mature with that, what you do. Not doing it for yourself, doing it for the society. Pallas in Aquarius, 11th house, or in aspect to Uranus, amazing. This is the social restructure. This is the revolution and change, not only looking at the future, but creating one. It involves causes and movements, technology, and working with groups, and it has to do with humanitarianism. So this is the placement where we know that Pallas, Athena, had to be detached from her emotions just to look what has to be done. Pallas in Pisces, 12th house, or in aspect to Neptune, like Churchill had it. Here, intuition takes over, has psychic abilities, imagination, and great ideals, dreams and aspirations, able to speak to the soul of others and touch their emotions. There is a spiritual guidance, sacrifice, and compassion, but also it's believing that you can do more things that you can do in reality, not being grounded. So this is it's easy in this placement not to be grounded, just looking for a greater picture, which is not so easy to accomplish and do it.